At the height of America's Industrial Revolution, a battle seemed to erupt between the public and the new titans of industry. Monopolies dominated railroads, oil, steel, and finance. Workers protested. Farmers revolted. Politicians promised reform. And soon, Washington delivered exactly what the public demanded: regulation. But what if the laws that were supposed to control corporate power were designed to protect it? By the late 1800s, public anger had reached a boiling point. Giant monopolies controlled transportation, prices, and entire markets. Political corruption was rampant. Government offices were traded like favors. Across the country, Americans demanded one thing: government intervention. The question confronting the nation was simple. Would government become the servant of the people or the servant of industry? History offers a revealing answer. When public outrage forces government to regulate powerful industries, the outcome is not always what it appears. Again and again, the same pattern emerges. The industry itself often writes the rules meant to control it, and the result is something that looks like reform, but functions very differently. Journalist William Grider once described the process as a kind of political theater. Government responds to public anger with symbolic gestures, laws that appear bold, dramatic, even revolutionary. But beneath the performance, those laws often contain loopholes, weak enforcement, or carefully crafted limitations. The public sees reform. Behind the curtain, power remains exactly where it was. Over time, a remarkably consistent strategy emerged: a three-step playbook that allowed powerful industries to appear regulated while maintaining control. First, create regulatory agencies with little real authority. Second, write laws filled with ambiguity and loopholes. Third, implement regulation only after monopolies have already secured dominance. Each step gives the appearance of reform, while quietly protecting corporate power. The first move in the playbook is the creation of a regulatory body that appears powerful but isn't. In 1887, Congress established the Interstate Commerce Commission, the first federal agency designed to regulate the railroads. Its promise was simple: protect citizens from abusive railroad pricing and unfair practices. On paper, it looked like a major victory for reformers. But the reality was very different. The ICC had almost no real enforcement power. It could not set railroad rates. It could not compel accurate accounting. Even insiders understood its true function. One former railroad lawyer, who later became U.S. Attorney General, openly admitted that the commission served as a barrier, protecting railroad corporations from the anger of the public. The second strategy involves something more subtle: pass a sweeping law that promises to crush monopolies once and for all. In 1890, Congress delivered exactly that with the Sherman Anti-Trust Act. The promise was dramatic: break up trusts, restore competition, and defend free markets. It sounded like the ultimate weapon against corporate power. But the law was written in language so vague and expansive that it became almost impossible to enforce. Corporate lawyers quickly discovered the loopholes. The very attorneys who helped draft the law would later advise trusts on how to evade it. The results spoke for themselves. In the early years, the government lost most of the cases it brought under the Act. The weapon against monopolies turned out to be mostly smoke and mirrors. The final move is timing. By the early 1900s, railroad monopolies had already crushed many of their competitors through secret rebates and preferential pricing. Only then did Congress step in with stronger regulations: the Elkins Act and the Hepburn Act. These laws promised to end the very practices that had helped monopolies dominate the market. But by the time these laws passed, the damage had already been done. Smaller competitors were gone. The monopolies controlled the industry. In fact, some railroad leaders supported the new laws themselves. With competition eliminated, regulation helped stabilize prices and protect the dominant firms from new challengers. The entire process functions like a magician's trick. Public attention focuses on the dramatic moment, the passage of a reform bill, a major lawsuit, or a political showdown. Meanwhile, the real power dynamics remain untouched. The public feels vindicated. The outrage subsides, and the system continues largely unchanged. In the end, the greatest triumph for monopolies wasn't avoiding regulation. It was embracing it. Once the regulatory framework was established, it often became a shield, protecting large corporations from lawsuits, state governments, and new competitors. As one senator observed at the time, regulation itself became the official legitimacy of the trusts. No coup overthrew American democracy. No dictator seized control. Instead, power shifted quietly through a culture of appearances, laws that looked powerful but acted weak. The public kept the rituals of democracy, elections, legislation, reform movements. But behind the curtain, corporate power learned how to write the rules of the game. The result was something far more subtle than tyranny. A system where reform exists, but control never really changes.